Like Vaporwave music, aesthetics, and content? Well, if this is your first time here, click the subscribe button and hit that little bell to stay up to date with me the moment I release new videos. So we all know Vaporwave would never be the same without the artwork and aesthetics, so today I'm here to discuss my top 10 favorite Vaporwave album covers. Let's get right into it. So starting off at the number 10 spot, we got Dream Lounge from Tokyo to Honolulu. First look at this computer-generated luxury backyard simulator exhibit, and we're given a barrage of analogous colors. An album art from top to bottom, looking like the house you always tried to build in The Sims, yet you never had the patience to go through with it. You know what I'm talking about. Well, at least here we could see our dreams come to life with its futuristic structural build, grape soda-filled in-ground pool, fuzzy over-textured shrubs, and the stiffest looking couches and seats I think I've ever seen in my life. A very geometrical composed picture we got going on here, where all these shapes building up the house and furniture really exaggerate this feeling of sharp, high-end luxury living. I've always had an interest in architectural design, especially ones that incorporate that modern house feel, and this album absolutely perfectly hits that for me. Number 9, With Love by Waterfront Dining. Waterfront Dining's classic With Love makes my list not only because this thing is dripping in that hazy looking goodness, but to this day I really can't tell how our friend is feeling here in the photo. Like, look at this dude. Like the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And here we have this dapper looking fellow who seems to presumably be attending a primetime event like a prom or something due to his attire and white flower attached to his suit. But did he have a good time? Or did he get stood up? Is it late after the event has ended, or is he simply tidying himself up as he waits for his date to answer the door? Or is he even outside the venue during its final songs, planning how he'll somehow get his lifelong crush to fall in love with him before this chapter of his life is over? The fact that his facial features are completely hidden enhances the mystery of our old pal here. And that VHS quality filter overlaid on it makes me feel like I'm watching some old home videos of my parents' prom night or something. Pure Vaporwave class here from Waterfront Dining. Chuck Person's Echo Jams Volume 1 taking the number 8 spot, as it's a classic and impeccable piece of Vaporwave history, but its album art further stylized this universally accepted platform of Vaporwave aesthetics. A collage-style mess of different graphics, clashing typography, and a shark, despite the fact that Echo is a classic Sega character who's a dolphin. The artwork for this album looks like a loading screen for some SeaWorld exhibit level in a Sega Dreamcast game, featuring an electric robotic shark boss level. The artwork complements the album's music as well, due to that track list feeling like it's part of this exploration-encouraged underwater world, with samples echoing and washing about as if they were waves in this never-ending Sega Dreamcast oceanic utopia. A Midnight Summer's Dream by Creative Reality 17 comes in at the number 7 spot with its grand views of a metropolis, simplified with the natural elegance of a sophisticated-looking garden in the foreground. This album cover really is a piece of art. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. So many little squares filling up the windows of the city, in company with all the dots of the flowers and the leaves coming from the garden. I love that dried out clay looking color palette that's going on here that really pushes that relaxing feeling when you look at this album cover. And everything is further enhanced by this secret garden area we find ourselves in, detached from the busy city in the distance. On the other hand, I always thought the album looks like a soon-to-be war between nature and the city, a stare down between two polar opposites on planet Earth, the evil corporate megastructures facing off between our photosynthesis protagonists. Which side will you be on, my friend? Number 6, Vapor Island by Vapor Island. This is a personal favorite of mine because as a kid, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, this was with you as well, Lego Island was one of my favorite games ever. Like, remember those summer days? I can remember like it was yesterday, those summer days where the weather was so beautiful outside, yet you always found yourself sitting in your like cold, clammy basement with no windows, glued to your compact computer, playing games like Lego Island and Backyard Baseball. Yep. Ignorance at its most bliss. On the album cover here, we seem to have a small section of Lego Island that, despite its lacking of necessary community resources like a hospital, government buildings, power, water, or recycling plants, it makes us want to jump right into the picture and join into this simplified society. I mean, it does look pretty fun. I mean, look at it. Look what we got going on here. We got a sweet little pizzeria in the back if you're getting hungry. Just get a nice slice of pizza. People jet skiing on water, and yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of. But hey, I'd still go. Number 5, we're halfway there with Death's Dynamic Shrouds. I'll Try Living Like This. This is an album cover that just screams with color, hard to look away from and undoubtedly wicked. This hectic art style further complements the chaotic and unpredictable nature of the album itself, making the overall mood of this artistic choice that much more fitting. This blend of neon colors and shapes that cut into one another, all overlaid onto this woman's smiling face, makes this thing seem like a scrapbook project gone wrong. The vinyl pressing by Quiet Earth Records hits us even more with this art style, as the whole package they presented to us carries over that vibrant explosion of color and mystique. A beautifully loud and unforgettable album cover in the Vaporwave community. Okay, so I'm going to be honest for this next one. Number 4, Marble of Fantasy, Haircuts for Men. I'm a little bit biased here because forest green is like my favorite color ever. I think that's the most beautiful looking color in the world. I've talked about this before, but that is Pat Chennington's favorite color, so that is why I love this album art. I'm not a big cassette dude, but I do own this on cassette, and it pops out so well due to this entire thing being cased in this hypnotic green color all over it. It looks so dope in my music collection, and it's great to display and even greater to play. And let's look at the setting here. We got this classic Vaporwave statue chilling hard, soaking in them aesthetics in what looks like that bathroom from the first Saw movie. The crumpled paper overlaying the entirety of the album cover also gives it more of that bootleg, abandoned, and forgotten look we so highly associate with Vaporwave aesthetics. And the rocky stone-like texture seen throughout the cover as well plays well into this serious instrumentation heavy samples Haircuts for Men chooses on the album. Very serious and firm without a sacrifice to a charming Vaporwave aesthetic. Alrighty, we are in the top 3, and number 3, taking the bronze medal on my list of all-time favorite Vaporwave album covers, is Another Night Together by Telepath. A Vaporwave heavy-hitting classic and a beloved piece in all of our Bandcamp collections, I'm sure. I've talked more about the artwork in a video I did on Vaporwave albums I would love to see come to life on vinyl. I'm going to link that in the description if you haven't checked that out. But yeah, this is one of those albums, similar to With Love by Waterfront Dining, where the artwork really presents you this scenario that you kind of just don't know what's going on, and you can make up the story yourself. To me, I always picture it as if I'm looking at the scene from outside a window on a rainy night due to the picture's distorted and smudged look. In the bar, we see a couple friends seemingly enjoying their night out. However, there's two silhouettes of a man and a woman clearly in some sort of discussion that take up the center of the room and the center of attention. And the album is just blurry enough where you can't really read their body language and tell what's going on, and I absolutely love that. Is the lady trying to tell the man something? Is it serious? Is it... I don't know. I really don't know. Is the man looking away, ignoring her loving eyes as he contemplates what he really wants in his life? Or are the two having a moment so magical, embraced by each other's arms as they take in each second high on the ecstasy of romance? And I mean, look at us from looking outside the window. Maybe we're just the jealous lover looking in, envious of the man or woman who is currently spending the present moment with the person we've loved for so long. Do we confront the two and pour out our true feelings for that man or woman we desire? I mean, I'll just sit here outside the bar in the rain and I'll think about it. I'll meet you on the inside. Alright, number 2. Now, I know A Million Miles Away is a Future Funk album. However, I always put Future Funk and Vaporwave in the same realm anyway. I think a lot of us do. Both have an undeniable aesthetic that teleports us from one place to another once we start listening to it, and I cannot deny how much I absolutely love the artwork used for this album, so I gotta throw it on this list. If we were to look at this album literally, I see a city, right, that does not abide to its building permits and has a pretty loose policy on the safety of their roadways. This thing is like one of those Mario Party minigames where you're like in the bobsled and you always fall off the damn track no matter how slow you're going. Like both teams fall off the track. You could spend 10 minutes playing the game, you're falling off the track. But let's take those realism goggles off for a sec and imagine ourselves hundreds of miles above the city, right? Driving our custom painted turquoise blue Lamborghini Murcielagos on top of these skyscrapers that are somehow holding up these windy and curvy streets. With a sparkled pink skyline in the distance, we know we're on the road to somewhere great. The artwork for this album really is a treat to look at with its varying textures that have no blend from one texture to the other. You got the chalkboard looking street immediately cutting off to the pasty skyline, and also immediately immediately cutting off to that mirrored looking building that creates this fantasy world. It all looks so inviting. I love all the shapes, love all the color choices, and hands down my favorite future funk album cover ever. P.S. I'm so damn excited for that vinyl to come in. Number 1, Soft Channel by Giant Claw. The project of visual artist and Orange Milk Records co-founder Keith Rankin takes my number 1 spot. This is literally a work of art to me, at least in my eyes, and I have always been drawn to its disturbing and thought-provoking composition ever since I first laid eyes on it. I don't know what's going on in here, and I don't think I ever really want to know what's going on. The background is this beautiful clash of blue and red, fizzing out to a foamy white running through the middle of it. We got a woman here, torn between these two sides of color, who seems to be just as confused or worried as we are. On one side, we have a mirror revealing her opposite being as this figure drowning in a green cloak, which seems to be trying to communicate with her with its arm and hand reaching out for hers on the table. And behind her, menacingly hovers this floating clay ball of a head that looks like a vaporwave-ified version of Ghastly, watching what her next move will be. But like I said, nothing is clear to me in this photo, so is this creature mad? Is it sad, worried, or is it bored? It kind of looks bored too. Maybe the woman is the scary one in the photo, waving her hand, telling this unknown creature to go away as she doesn't have time for him or her. I love the pastel looking colors, the dismissal of any other room-like features in the area the scene is taking place in, and the straight up mystery. Soft Channel's album art has the one thing we all universally are drawn to when it comes to art, and that is not having an answer, not having an explanation. Create your own story, personalize what you see, and create a story that's unique to yourself. Creative freedom is a blessing, so take advantage of it. Check out some of my other videos that showcase some of the albums I talk about in this video, not only evaluating the art and presentation of the album, but the music as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let me know which album artworks you absolutely adore. It doesn't even need to be Vaporwave, to be honest. I'm just curious to hear what you guys gotta say. Much love, your boy, Pat Chennington.